Hi folks, and welcome to a brand new video, something a little different. I have enlisted the help of a fellow content creator to make something a little bit interesting. We are going to do a versus type video where basically I choose my favorite car, the guests choose their favorite car, and the winner is the person with the highest average lap difference. So in a nutshell, I'm probably going to be slower in certain cars. Obviously we know that. I might be faster in my favorite car, so therefore it's going to be the difference between those two sessions is going to be the winner of the overall thing. Now how we're going to do that is we're going to be quite cruel. We're going to have 5 laps of practice to try and learn the car as quickly as we can. And then we're going to do 3 times laps. Those 3 time laps will be averaged, and then the difference in percentage will be the deciding factor. So the first victim is Jay Cools. How are we doing, buddy?
Hey man, it's good to see you. And hey everyone, my name's Jay. It's a pleasure to see you all again. As you can see behind me, I'm picking the Honda Civic Type R TCR today. It's one of my favorite cars in the whole service, even though when I did start iRacing I sort of went towards the Mazdas and the Skip Barbers. As soon as this and the Hyundai Elantra were released on the service, I haven't really turned back and have pretty much mained this. Always also do quite a lot of stuff on Twitch as well as YouTube, not just racing stuff. You see a lot of RPGs, Football Manager, pro wrestling things, so hey, if that's your bag you might enjoy it there as well. This track in particular, it's a pretty decent track. We know that the TCRs are going to be a bit slower than whatever TDI chooses to choose today, but I'm really looking forward to this experiment and to see it just how well I can get on with something that's not a TCR.
Yep, that's going to be exactly it. So my car of choice is the old Bandit Mobile itself. I'm going to choose the F4. So we are going to do it around circuit Jules Villeneuve because there is an up-and-coming F1 race. So if we're doing an F1 race, we're both fans of F1, so let's try and go around the F1 circuit. And lucky enough, this is on iRacing. So yeah, we'll do the first round in the Honda Civic TCR, which is a wonderful front-wheel drive little monster. So I'm going to have a massive learning curve. And then Jay's also going to have a massive learning curve with the F4, which is a completely different vehicle, but that is the fun of this little experiment that we're doing, and we'll have some laughs on the way, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who wins, we're just going to experience it and see what happens. You okay with that?
Absolutely, it's going to be fun.
Gordon, yeah, let's go out and practice. I love the number plate on the back. You have a number plate on the back of your car. I love that paint.
I have to. I try with every single car that I can.
That is awesome. And you got the P plate. If you don't know, if you have a P plate on the back of your car in the UK, it means you've just passed your driving test. So that is awesome. Very, very nice. Right, I'm going to be cheating here. I'm going to try and follow Jay on the basis of he knows what he's doing, and I don't.
So time for me to mess up every single one of my practice laps.
Yeah, exactly. Mess up your practice laps, then I won't learn anything. This is where the tactics come into play. I don't like the way you've already pulled away like 1.5 seconds.
What you'll have to be very careful of, and anyone who's watching and has already had the pleasure of driving the TCRs, is the tyres. So you're going to notice that these tyres are not going to get warm for at least probably looking at about 5 minutes.
Really? That long?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And do you know what is even more ridiculous about these tyres sometimes? Is when you do an IMPC, so IMSA Mission Pilot Challenge, 2-hour race, happens every 2 Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays. Matches are scheduled with the GT4s as well. It's a 2-hour race that you do not need to change your tyres in.
2 hours?
2 hours.
See, I would have thought being a front-wheel drive little rascal, it would have eaten the front tyres for fun.
It should. In theory, you're right, it absolutely should, and like the only tyres you should change should be the front tyres, but yeah, honestly, you'll be finding about 10 minutes from the end, you'll be setting your quickest lap of the race.
Wow, okay.
We've been at iRacing so many times for it, and nothing's got done. Like, I don't know if like the tyres are straight from NASA or something, but...
They're for Boeing 747, they last a long time.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's... You, especially going to this first corner like I've done just there, I've been sort of driving that there as if my tyres are warmed up. A little practice session I did by myself this morning, you're gonna find the understeer is pretty bad anyway, being front wheel drive.
Yeah, of course. You put the
first
power
few
on.
laps. Yeah, the first few laps here, it's gonna be pretty hellish. Have fun.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
So okay, when we get over to the F4s, I'm sure you have the last laugh of that one.
Right then, side-by-side comparison between myself and Jay. So look at the braking points into turn one. They're similar, but Jay is a little bit earlier, and this seems to be a tendency for me in this car. He gets a lot better, smoother exit on this second part here because I go on full throttle and I go into the corner quicker, and that compromises my exit. Slow in, fast out is definitely the key with this car. He's already 1 or 2 mile an hour on me, and this is a common theme through this entire lap, which is fantastic to see where I'm going wrong. We both clatter the curb. Again, you can already see how far Jay has pulled ahead just in 2 corners, and through the second chicane, he does extend that lead. See, I'm over-rotating the car because I'm taking too much speed through the corner, and I'm compromising my exit. Coming through here, look at the angle of the braking zones. I'm coming in a much tighter angle, and I have to rotate the car more. We both clatter the curb, but Jay short shifts into third at this point to get a much smoother exit, and you can see I'm soaring at the wheel trying to stay away from that wall. Jay gets incredibly close to it. I don't think he hit it, so we're on down to the third chicane on this track. This is just chicanes and hairpin, this track. This is all it is. Anyway, again, slightly earlier. We both clatter the curbs on the way through. Again, you can see how much these little differences, these little 1 or 2 mile an hour here and there, Jay is slowly pulling ahead across the lap. Coming down to the most important corner on the track, in my opinion, it is the hairpin. And I think we break at quite similar points here. Jay goes barreling into the corner very impressively fast, and I think he compromises his exit just a little bit, and I think I gain maybe half a tenth back here because looking at the speedos down this massive long straight, there's not a lot of difference into it. This is why I think this corner is the most important on the circuit, because it does lead onto this massive full throttle zone. The car can only accelerate on full throttle as fast as it can, so getting 1 or 2 mile an hour better exit will really benefit you, and this is what Jay has done the entirety of the lap. Coming up to the Wall of Champions now, I think our braking points are very similar, just probably me a little bit later as to be my tendency. We both clatter the curb hugely, but you can see how far Jay is ahead now. These little 1 or 2 mile an hour points here has made a massive lead for him, and yeah, he's clearly much better than me in the TCR. Right then, the results. Are you ready, Jay?
I'm ready.
Our average lap times. So I'll put a little screenshot of our actual 3 laps that we did on screen, and our average lap times for Jay is a 1:48.013, and mine is a 1:48.384, and that gives us an average lap time difference of you being faster by 0.3428888, and then recurring forever for whatever reason. So yeah. What that tells me is TCR Racing is very close.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong with that. It can be some of the most closest, intense fighting in the whole of iRacing. I think my second lap done me in slightly there. I had a very difficult first couple of corners, thinking that the tyres were a lot warmer than they actually were. And that last hairpin's just, you've got to be so precise and so smooth with it. So I think that probably cost me quite a few attempts on that, but I'm not surprised it's within half a second. Sometimes when you're racing, you got a track like this, the slipstream will really sort of band you all together, and sometimes the 15-30 minute races could literally just be a 15-30 minute like attack on your sensors.
Yeah, just everyone everywhere. And I think this is the good thing about sort of doing this type of thing. It forces us to do other cars, and I'm definitely going to try TCR more often because I've really enjoyed that. So fingers crossed we can get some races together.
Oh, glad to have recruited you into the cult. I mean, the series.
Yeah.
The
series, yeah. Right, on to my car of choice. Right then, my choice of car is the original Bandit Mobile of the F4. Yeah, one of these cars, I do like open wheelers. I am more of an open wheeler man than a tin top. But yeah, the F4, I think we're on the fixed iRacing setup because I think it's a very safe setup. I didn't want to put anything too leery on because, again, this is just a bit of fun to learn other cars. You know, a little bit of competition in there, but again, we're just learning different cars. I thoroughly enjoyed the TCR, and fingers crossed, Jay, you're going to have a good time in this F4.
I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's every time I've been in a Formula 4 race, it does kind of remind me of Ferrari. Like, it's basically the open wheeler version of Ferrari fixed. Chaos personified. But,
yes. Yeah, surviving an F4 race is definitely more important than any lap time you'll ever do. If you can survive and see the checkered flag, you'll normally be in the top 10, let's be honest.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. But regardless of that, it's still I've enjoyed the majority of F4 races I've been in, so I'm looking forward to this in a more controlled, safer environment.
Exactly, apart from all the wars around Canada.
And that.
Right, let's crack on with it.
So one of the things I'm sort of going to be focusing on with this one is definitely not locking the tyres up.
Yeah, it's being sort of no anti-lock brakes. You can lock them up, but with the downforce at high speed, like we're doing 130 mile an hour now, you can nail on the brakes, and it's only until you get under 100 that they actually start locking up. So there is massive performance there, but the skill is, knowing when to lift off. I mean, some people, you see some of the aliens going around, and they seem to be breaking it like the 2 marker and getting it around the corner, and it's like, yeah, I don't.
Insane.
There we go. Told you it'd be rear dependent. That's
After you.
Someone's done that in F1. Someone's definitely done that in F1 at that corner.
I'm gonna go with Stroll.
Yeah, good old Stroll. Gotta love him.
Stroll is usually the safe answer on that one.
I wish I had you in front of me because I could claim you brake checked me.
Oh wow.
That was a few weeks ago, but in China, obviously Stroll decided to look at a corner instead of the cars in front and just blame the people in front for brake checking. So yeah, F1 joke, gotta love it.
You said that? I'm gonna look for him.
Exactly.
That's quite. I don't know how you have bad language, but peed me off.
Yeah. It was one of them daft things. It was a silly mistake that was avoidable, and it's like, yeah.
Right, that tip about the 100% braking and just slowly lifting it off, that's helping a lot. I was having a quick practice in this last week on another circuit. I just was losing so much time because I just wasn't putting all into the brakes straight away. But
yeah, Pete, it's the whole thing of, and I think this is why I generally don't like ABS cars, because that's what I think I like about the GTE, because it doesn't have ABS, it's only got TC. And I think a lot of people go, oh, I've got no TC, I have to be careful. And in some cars, you really have to be, but
I find TC makes me slower.
TC makes you slower?
Yeah, like GT4, if the traction control activates on the GT4 during the qualifying lap, you might as well just park it up because you've lost like 4 or 5 temps out of a corner if TC gets activated. And during the race, it could really, like, say you got traction control during the first couple of corners here, or that hairpin, you'd be done for on that long straight, versus someone who kept it smooth and managed to not get it all activated.
Yeah. Well, I like TC. I know it's there for a reason, but give me a little bit of a wiggle at the back end because then I can manage it. But just coming in like a lead hammer and just dying all power, and it's just, yeah. I love the logic as well of when you spin, TC comes in going, oh, you're spinning, I'll save you. But then that takes all of the weight off the rear axle because you're not accelerating anymore, which makes the job worse. F4 time, let's get these laps side by side. Braking in turn 1, you can see the braking pressure and shape of the pedal input is very, very similar. Jay takes a little bit more speed into the corner and it's a little bit too much for the rear end to handle, and he gets a little bit spotted. Well handled and well picked up, but that does push him wide into turn 2, and that was the only mistake that I saw on this one. And this is very much the TCR laps again, where I was a little behind in all areas. Jay's a little bit behind me in all areas in the F4, so fantastic for him to jump into it and do this. So again, second chicane here, we're braking very, very similar inputs there. Probably mine's a little bit sharper and a little bit dropped down more. Little dab of throttle up to nearly 100% for both of us, and then on full throttle as soon as we know we're not going to hit the wall. I'm getting close to the wall, and that could be using a little bit more track limits there, which is again going to give me more lap time to use. Again, third chicane this time. Very, very similar. I'm a little bit dabby on the brakes there. I peaked twice and Jay's a bit more consistent through there, but for some reason I gain a little bit more time from here because you see I'm starting to pull ahead a bit more. I'm guessing it's adding up corner by corner by corner, because once we're on full throttle you can't do anything. And you see I have a big lift there so I don't hit the wall, so that was probably a little bit too fast for me on exit on that one. Coming down to the, again, another chicane. Said it on the last bit, it's all chicanes and hairpins this track, it's ridiculous. But this one, brake at a similar point again. Jay's doing what I did in the previous one, little stab of corner. We take loads of curves curves on each of us, but again, I'm just a little bit quicker, using a little bit more track limits, and this will come with time. This is what I mean, practice does make perfect, and using the extra few feet or a few millimeters on the circuit will definitely help you out. Hairpin here, Jay does absolutely brilliantly through here. Heavy on the brakes all the way down, does not lock a tire, gets it turned in, get a nice late apex as well, and gets on throttle. He probably could have got on throttle a little bit earlier than he does there, and probably gone a little bit close to the wall, but again, ifs and buts, it's all about trying to survive and not hit the walls. Coming down the straight now, the car does what it cars, and we're trying to hunt our braking point for the last chicane, which is probably the most critical. And this is interesting lines through here. So braking at a similar sort of 2-ish marker, I'm getting much heavier on the brakes, less curb on the first one and the second one for me, and I get a sort of a later curb on the exit, and I think that was just me trying to take the corner a little bit straighter than what Jay did. I'm not criticizing him, he did brilliantly in this, but that is a difference right there in the laps, and it isn't a lot, let's be honest. Right then, so the 2 sessions are done and dusted, and we have the results. I'll put the TCR results on the screen as well, just so you know about them as well, but there was a 0.342888 percentage between our lap times and the lap times we did around here. So Jay's lap times was a 141.6, a 141.0, and then the last lap a 140.1. Now already, if you're looking at those lap times, that is massive improvement over them 3 laps, so very well done for Jay on that one. That gives him an average of a 140.943. Now my laps was a 39.850, a 39.889, and then a 39.7. So that gives me an average lap time of a 138.813, which gives us a grand total of a 1.12574% difference in lap times. Which, to be fair, considering you're not an open wheeler driver, to be within 1.1% of someone else, you should be very happy with that one, Jay.
I'm extremely happy with that one. I was going in to try and get that 139 in, but I think my bravery cost me in the end. Yeah, it's been fun driving this. I've really liked it. Probably fair to say slightly beat me on that one. All 39s. Massive well done on that one. My lap times were getting better and better though, so I think with a bit more practice, maybe, just maybe, I can at least consistently get in the high 39s. I think that's the potential and the target for future. I can definitely try and aim for if I ever look at doing a F4 fixed at Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, them lap times we've chosen there, you know, it's 1.5 seconds improvement over basically 3 laps, so you're definitely making grounds into the lap times there. And this is the whole point of the video. It's a little bit of fun. It puts us out our comfort zone, because as streamers we generally stick with the cars that we want, and this forces us to go and do something different and try and experience something out. At the end of the day, iRacing is, let's say, a premium service, and it does cost a little bit of money, so if we're using all of it, then we're getting better value for money, and I don't mind spending money as long as I'm getting value. I've definitely learned that I thoroughly enjoyed TCR. That Honda Civic, thoroughly enjoyed that, and if you keep making the roads that you've done in this F4, you can have some very good racing in top split as well, providing you survive, of course, because F4 is a lot more dangerous. But
survival was the main thing, I think, for now. So
exactly. But yeah, as mentioned, thank you very much for Jay for joining us on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a bit of planning, a bit of editing, so definitely like and subscribe and all that one, and definitely check out Jay's channels. The links will of course be down in the description, so check out his YouTube and check out his Twitch, and you can catch some of his races. Fingers crossed we'll see each other in other races as well, because I'm definitely going to want to try some TCR. I'm a little bit looking forward to it, not going to lie. But yeah, Jay, thank you for joining us on this, and thank you for giving us your time to be able to do this. I do appreciate it, and yeah, fingers crossed we do see each other on the track.
Absolutely. Let's make the races as awesome as this practice has been, and thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. I hope we see a massive array and styles of driving that you get experience, that you get thrown into over the coming seasons.
Awesome. Well, do you have an outro for your viewers?
No, not really, apart from just make sure you always look after yourselves, but also each other.
That is the important thing, and I'll second with that up with yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the track.